LEGO Star Wars was already off to a great start in 2024, beginning with this Clone Trooper vs. Battle Droids battle pack, and it seems like it's only going to be getting better as we move further into the new year. Because last night, a whole bunch of really interesting leaks dropped, and normally I would just make a few posts on my Instagram story like I usually do, but I figured it'd be a better idea for me to sit down and make a full-on video discussing these leaks like I used to. So today we're actually going to sit down at the other desk and we're going to take a look at all these new leaks and rumors that dropped, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on it. Which, interestingly enough, is something that I don't actually do on this channel that often. Most of the time we're making alternate builds and mods, so we don't really have a chance to just discuss LEGO Star Wars sets. But nonetheless, that's what we're doing today, so let's fly over to the other desk and take a look at all these new leaks. Here we are on Instagram, and we're going to be taking a look at the Brick Reporters page to peek at all these new leaks and rumors that came out, and we're going to go in order from the ones I'm least excited about to the ones I'm most excited about. It might seem odd me putting Cal Kestis at the bottom, but we just don't know a lot about this set besides the fact that Cal Kestis will be included. But I am incredibly excited for a Cal Kestis minifigure in specific, and whatever it is from the Jedi series that they build, I'm sure is going to be amazing. Young Leia is also cool. It's a new unique version of Leia, but I'm really hoping that this opens the door for a new Bail Organa minifigure, because he's one of my favorite characters in LEGO Star Wars, and I would love another minifigure of him. Next one on the bottom is this buildable C-3PO. A cool idea, and I think it's going to pair well with the buildable R2-D2 that's coming out, but I'm just not really in the market for this kind of set, so for me personally, I'm not really interested. But I think it'll be a really cool display piece nonetheless. I think it's almost a no-brainer that LEGO releases a C-3PO after they release the buildable R2-D2. They're the iconic droid duo, so it makes sense. Now this next one is arguably the one I'm actually least excited about, but we know the most about it, so I can make an informed opinion. This is a TIE Fighter versus X-Wing set. Now, I'm very happy with another Versus set, and I think LEGO saw the success of the Ewing versus Shin Hati Versus set, and they think that the LEGO Star Wars community wants more of these all the time. Which we do, but the TIE Fighter and X-Wing just retired. I think this Versus set should be based on some different starfighters, then at the beginning of 2025 they can re-release the X-Wing and TIE Fighter so it doesn't feel so congested with just these two sets on shelves. And I'm more than happy to be wrong or disproven on that, and on the bright side, the piece count is pretty high for both these ships, so I think they'll both be a decent size and they'll be filled out well enough. Now this last bit of text on here is really interesting. The TIE Fighter and X-Wing wings can be swapped. Now there's two things about that. One, I'm curious how that's going to affect the X-Wing wings actually opening, and then two, is this LEGO releasing their first official ugly starfighter? Because if so, I'm all on board for that, and customization built into LEGO Star Wars sets is even better, so I think that'll be cool. Now our fourth one is a really interesting idea at an awful price point. This is going to be another Sarlacc pit set with 558 pieces, but it costs $90. This is essentially the equivalent of the recently released Marvel XJet. This is going to be Star Wars XJet. On the bright side, we're getting every named minifigure we need to recreate that scene, so I guess that's good. But the build is really going to have to make up for that price to piece discrepancy because that is just huge. Now our fifth one is arguably going to be the best Ahsoka set that's ever released. It's a Battle of Peridia. It's going to have Thrawn, a new Morgan Elsbeth, Captain Enoch, Ahsoka in her white outfit, and Ezra as well. 5 amazing named minifigures. Now we don't know anything about the build, but I expect this to be about battle pack sized, if not a little bit more. Maybe one decently sized built-out vehicle and then a small landscape build for the opposition. But this is definitely going to be more of a minifigure set. The main focus is going to be all these unique minifigures over whatever build they could possibly make. We're getting closer to the top here, and this is probably going to be one of my favorite sets that comes out of this wave. It's the new Sith Infiltrator. Now this one's only going to be $70, which is a good price point that makes it accessible for most consumers, but I think the majority of the community really liked the 2015 version of the Sith Infiltrator, and I just don't think we're going to be able to get that size with this price point. However, I'll always welcome a new Phantom Menace set, especially a Sith Infiltrator with Darth Maul, Padme, Qui-Gon, and even Captain Panaka. I think it would make more sense to have Watto, but Panaka's a good inclusion as well. Now second to last, you might be wondering why I didn't put him at the top, is Jedi Bob Starfighter. Jedi Bob was originally an unnamed Jedi Knight in the original Republic gunship set, then later in 2008 I believe it was, in the visual dictionary he was officially named as Jedi Bob. And ever since then it's been kind of an inside joke in the community for this Jedi to have such a simple name like Bob compared to things like Kit Fisto and Plo Koon. So the fact that LEGO is bringing him back under the name Jedi Bob officially is absolutely out of this world, and it's going to be amazing to see. Now as Starfighter, I have no idea what that's going to look like. I assume it could be similar to the recently released Obi-Wan Starfighter, just with a different color scheme, or it could be an Episode 3 kind of Jedi Interceptor instead. We'll just have to wait and see, but Jedi Bob having his own set with the official name Jedi Bob is insane. And lastly, the set I'm most excited for, not even for the set itself, but for the opportunities it opens within LEGO Star Wars. Now the build itself is probably going to look a little wacky and kind of jarring with the inverse version of the Falcon and then the inverse version of all these iconic characters. But the reason I love this set is because it's so unique and original. It's nothing that's been seen on the big screen or in any TV show series. The only thing that we've seen from this set is a Darkseid Ray. Everything else, as far as I know, is something LEGO hasn't done in the past and is pretty much completely original. This could encourage the LEGO group to come up with their own completely original LEGO Star Wars ideas, or maybe it could encourage them to move towards some of the already existing unique ideas that some fans love. More so pointing towards the more niche characters that people latch onto. I think the Justifier was a great example of this. It was a very unique ship, not a very iconic one that tons of people know, but it's a very cool one that plenty of people like. Now the price point was pretty bad, but I think the idea was amazing, so I'm hoping this kind of set will encourage them to continue doing even more unique ideas. And I know that might seem a little bit too optimistic, and it might seem like kind of a stretch to think all of that will come from this Dark Millennium Falcon set. And regardless of what comes after the set, it is still really nice to see LEGO reach their hands out of the normal comfort zone and latch onto a more unique and original idea. But that pretty much covers it for all the leaks that came out tonight. We of course have the older leaks like the Tandem 4 boarding party diorama and whatnot, but I'm not going to bore you guys with those because I'm pretty sure you've heard all about those. Leave a comment down below for which of these sets you're most excited for, and if you agree with my opinions and sort of rankings that I put these in. And don't forget to drop a like while you're down there as well, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any alternate builds or modifications that we do to these new 2024 sets when they finally come out. And other than that, if you'd like to check out my Patreon to support the channel or get any PDF building instructions for some alternate builds you might have seen on my channel, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace, fellas.